Hi everyone, my name is Ibn, and if you're anything like me, then petting zoos aren't really your thing, and you might be wondering if the Barnyard Animal Pack has something to offer for you. In this video, we're going to take a look at 10 creative ways to use the new pieces that come in this pack, and hopefully this will convince you that this pack is worth buying. Let's get started. Starting off with these two new pieces is the two new tire pieces, and of course these are pieces that we've always wanted for a very long time, and I'm very happy to see them in the game. There's a big tractor version and there's a smaller truck version, and unlike before where all the wheel pieces and the tire pieces always had the inside filled up with either a cog or a piece of wood, now we have completely free tire pieces, which is really awesome. This brings us to two possible ways to use these pieces. There's of course a bunch of other ways, but the first off is of course using these huge tire pieces as climbing pieces. Of course the animals won't interact with it like they would if this would have been an enrichment piece, but it's still really cool to add this to your climbing frames to get a realistic look. I suggest getting the Oceania pack as well, because that comes with a lot of these rope pieces that will allow you to build what you see right here. But it shouldn't stop there. You can also use these pieces in other ways. For example, you can make a seesaw and use the tires as the end to which the seesaw will bump to. This is a very common use, and in a lot of zoos, even zoos that are more on the high end, these tires are used so that you can make the seesaw work. So these are two things you can do with the new tire pieces. I'm of course certain you guys will think of all kinds of other ways to use this, but these were the first two that I thought of. Next up is the new Pitchfork. So we already had a bunch of staff items, so another item is always very interesting, but you can actually use these in a very creative way. Taking a look at this build, you can use the Pitchfork to make these kind of feeders. If you use the blueprint that Goron has provided, where the feeders are upside down, you might be able to make this seem as if they are interactable by the animals, which is really cool. This is made using the Pitchfork piece and one of the hinge pieces from the Euro pack, so if you don't have that pack yet, go get that one as well, because it's really cool. On to the next piece. These two pieces are really cool. So you have a metallic planter piece and a milk churn, and both of these pieces have some really cool uses, but one of the ones that I was looking forward to the most was this, using the metal planter piece as a cooler for drinks. I went to Disney's Animal Kingdom last year and these were everywhere. Using a few pieces, like in my case the bracket pieces, the bottle pieces, and some custom wheels that I made, you can easily make this look like one of those coolers that has a bunch of bottles in them. But that's not the only use you can, the only thing you can use the planter for. If you turn it upside down, you can make your own little custom feeder again. If you go back to Goron's upside down enrichment items, you might even be able to make this interactable. So it's really cool. It's another version of something that we already have, but it's really nice. Speaking about turning pieces upside down, if you take the milk churn piece and you turn it upside down, you get these metal kegs, which is really cool. So that you can use these in your backstage pieces. So this is really just adds another dimension to your backstage areas. Next up are these new cool rustic metal fences. There's of course a lot of ways to use this, but there were two that instantly came to my mind. And one of them will be an excellent use for one of our Bro Nation members called BZ, because you can make these very old school kind of fences if you want to just make an old area in your zoo that is reusing it, or if you just want to take some pictures and use that for old school or old pictures of your zoo. You can use these pieces because they are really piece efficient, and it gives you the look that you want really fast. But that's not the only thing. We are in a barnyard pack, so we can also use this to make cattle grid. Cattle grid is something very common because it allows us humans to walk over it and go over it with cars and stuff. But animals with hooves don't go over this because it's something they could get their legs stuck in between. It's not something that is always that animal friendly considered by a lot of people, but it is a thing that's being used in real life. So you could use this as well, especially if you're starting to use this in combination with an invisible path, using just Goron's technique to create the invisible path. You might be able to make this functional, and you can make your guest areas using these cattle grids. It's really, really cool. For our almost final piece, we're taking a look at this free update piece, which is the hand washing station. It's really cool that this is a separate piece and it's really easy to hide. There is the metal pole, but you can easily put this somewhere else, but you don't have to use this piece in a walkthrough exhibit. You can actually also just use this piece in, of course, one of your backstage areas. It fits in seamlessly, and when I went back to St. Reginald's Zoo and went into this backstage, I could just put it in, it worked, and it works perfectly. And I would use it now in almost every backstage because this is really just a fun piece to have. Let's take a look at the last piece. Well, you might be wondering, what in the hell what did you use this leek piece for? Are you using it to make grasses or like low foliage? Well, no, not really, because if you turn the leek upside down and sink it inside of a rock piece, you can actually get a really cool effect. If you look at this, this is something that I put together really, really quickly, but you can get the barnacle effect that a lot of coastal exhibits try to replicate. It doesn't look as convincing as real barnacles, but that might be something that you actually want to achieve because you want it to look fake. So using the leek pieces, you can make these kinds of barnacle scenes, which is really, really cool. So here you have it. You have 10 creative ways to use the new pieces for what they weren't intended. Of course, you can use all these pieces for what they were intended. If you want to know more about what my thoughts are about the Barnyard Animal Pack, I refer you to my Twitter page, which you will see right on screen right now, where I will give my usual Twitter review, and I hope to see you there. I hope you all enjoyed the Barnyard Pack when it comes out tomorrow, and have a lot of fun. See you in the next video. Bye!